Hey guys, what it is your girl Cadillac. I am Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all face to bleed. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Sorry, I'm used to looking at the face of my device and not the actual camera. But I am on my tablet, so I gotta be mindful of that. Anyways, today, before I go off to my work shift, because I work to live and I live to work, I hustle hard until it hurts. I work my fingers down to the bone. And once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, ain't nothing to come home with. Yeah, here's your girl Cadillac. Yes. Anyways, I want to come through to make a response to. Hold on, y'all. My thumb and my hand is going numb. Hold on. Does bring me to the reason and the point of this video. I have carpal tunnel, right? Okay, so it was in response to something that beyond our limitations. I'm sorry, let me make sure I say it correctly. I think it is beyond our limitations. Yes, beyond our limitations on TikTok. He said something great. He said, please, let's be mindful that not all disabilities are visual. You can't always see when someone is disabled. So please be kind and courteous to everyone because you really don't know what people going through, girl. And this has been a very big challenge. Y'all already know what my number one challenge in my life has been. But I'm gonna tell you what number two is. Number two has been since I was 22 years old, dealing with being disabled and trying to work and trying to keep a job. It is not easy. And I am a person who is disabled, but you can't visually tell that I'm disabled. Number one, I am legally blind. I literally only see out of this eye here, and I have very low vision. This eye sees nothing but watercolors, lights, swirls, colors, whatever you want to say, but it doesn't see things. In this one, I have low vision in it. With my contact, they're able to correct it so much to where I am able to drive, but that's kind of for the meantime being. I always have to be seen by a doctor, and also he still has to sign off whether he thinks I'm still able to drive. So needless to say, every so often my license gets revoked for my eyesight. Okay, and I also have the herniated discs in my neck. Discs, plural. Herniated disc in my lower back, which is just about bone on bone. I have arthritis in my neck. I have arthritis and carpal tunnel in my hands. And needless to say, I be in pain. I be in pain. I work in pain. I work, and I do feel like because of my disabilities, it limits my income. Um, and I know most would say that's just because you're allowing it to. No, it's not because I'm allowing it to. It's because it is very difficult to work. I have been through many different jobs, and because I have the issues with repetitive motions because of the type of disability that I have, once my body is accustomed to this motion, it'll start shutting down to where I can't use my hands. My hands will go numb, they'll ache, they'll hurt. My neck will tighten up. That's why I have the TMJ in my jaw because it tightens up my jaw. I have sciatica in my lower back and extremities. So I can't repetitively do the same action. Case in point is why your girl is a licensed cosmetologist but cannot practice. That was one income slash. And I finished cosmetology school, went out in the field, couldn't do it because, not because I didn't want to do it, but because I didn't have the physical ability in my limbs to do it. So I had to go back to working at the super center, right? I became a graphic designer and web designer. Halfway through school, they're like, this girl can't be no graphic designer or web designer. She's too slow. She's very slow. There's no way she can be able to keep up with the demand of this industry. So I knew I had to become a freelancer and just get clients that are willing to work with my limitations that are on me. So that is why I have a lot of different skills and abilities, but I continue to keep a job because the job is the only thing that pays me consistently. That's why I try to build my own freelance business in the background, while also working, because the job is the only thing that guarantees me a paycheck. Going out there doing my art, doing this, doing that, it gets me paid far and few in between. So I might have a payday today, and it could be months, it could be years, it could be a long time before I have another payday. So sorry, my hand is going numb because this tablet is heavier than my phone. But the thing that I wanted to focus in on, and what he's saying about, please be mindful that there are disabilities that you can't see. So on my work, on my job, I deal with a lot of discrimination, and it could be micro discriminations. They don't realize that they're doing it, but they are doing it, and it is because I am disabled, right? Okay, so give you a few let me give you a few examples. Like one time I was working at the super center. They would block off the area with yellow tape. um, Dang, hold on, give me a moment, my hand is not working today. Would block off the area with yellow tape, right? And then they would wax that area. They would put wax on it. And I remember walking. This is before I got my contact. I have something called keratoconus. It is a very rare eye disease that not even doctors back when I was diagnosed understood. Like, I was misdiagnosed several times before they really found out what was wrong with me. All they knew was I was going blind, and they said that I damaged and scarred my eye here, but just don't damage and scar this eye, girl. So I'm walking, and I almost walked on the area that the floor was being waxed, and the guy from the floor crew said, "Hey, what's wrong with you? Are you blind?" And at that time, I was trying to hide my diminishing vision. For me, I don't know why it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of embarrassing for me that I am not able to do things that I used to do and stuff like that. So I would try to play it off. Or like when I would read, I would be so super close to whatever I'm reading, and just so people didn't stare at me and look at me crazy. And even in graphic design school, I would sit this close to my screen, and people would be like, "Girl, back up. Are you blind?" And yes, I am. I'm legally blind. I have about this much vision, right? Um, and I wanted to say, yes, I am blind, but I'm like, dang, he just hollered at me. Like, why would I, if I really could see this, why would I just walk across a floor of wax? Like, give people grace. And then there was another time I was door greeting at another job, and you say, one line right this way, one line right this way, one line right this way, and it was a guy. And I noticed, now I can see images without my contact. I can see images, but I really cannot tell if you male, female, black, white. I can barely see who you are, young, old. I can't see the details. So I just seen a figure, and I'm like, one line this way. So I know this figure is not moving, it's still in front of me. And someone said, dang girl, he's blind, have some compassion. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm blind too. But I didn't tell them, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I literally did not know the man was blind and he could not see me saying one line this way. So, and then just like now, how I'm shaking out my hand. Now, this is the issue with my current job. I have carpal tunnel and I have arthritis, right? And the thing about my issue is aggravated by repetitive motion. So I can do, if you can have my job be a variety of things, it doesn't give my hands long enough to get irritated by that motion, right? But if you have me in the same spot every day doing the same thing, then my hands start to get aggravated. My nerves are pinched. I stop getting the blood flow, which leads to aching and pain, and leads to me not only being tired when I get off of work, I take that home with me. So meaning now when I'm trying to use my hands to create, when I'm trying to use my hands to do this and do that, my hands are not doing that. Like now I'm trying to record my video and my freaking hand over here just keeps going numb and I can barely record my video. But it's because they have tired out my hands from constantly doing the same action at work. So I literally have been to everybody at my job about it. I have doctor's notes on file. I have carpal tunnel. I have been transferred to different situations because they said this could be less repetitive action, and they actually could accommodate me, but they just refused to. And the issue that I'm running into now is what really hurts me, which really gets me aggravated, is because y'all already know I can't type, right? I know how to type. I physically know how to type. I could type, but the minute I do my hands like that, oh my gosh, my hands know that it hurts and they cramp up, they go numb, and I can't type, right? So it takes me a long time to even type emails and stuff like that, right? Society is ran by computers, so it sucks that if I have to type somebody an email, it's going to take me all day, or I'll have to break it down and type them like a sentence here, a sentence there, and then put it all together. That's how I have to work. So, needless to say, that's why thing that aggravates me at work is being on the cash register. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because our register, it does have buttons, but for some reason, our restaurant, nobody wants the stuff the way it comes off the menu. You have to type so many like messages. Oh, I don't want tomato. I don't want this. I want to. So it's a lot of typing, and I cannot type. So I could do the register sometimes, but when you constantly leave me on the register, I go into like now where this hand is going cold and numb, and I'm not able to use my limbs outside of work, and I barely can use them at work, right? So I nobody likes the register. Nobody. And I'm like, literally since I've been there for 2 years, I've been trying to figure out why no one else likes the register. I don't like it, but it ain't about what I like. I do it. You know what I mean? When you're on somebody's job, you have to do what they tell you to do. So I do it. I take my turn on the register. But if I could get a couple of days off the register, I can give my hands time to calm down and then I can do the register again. And the thing is, nobody else will do the register. They constantly, every time I come in, my name is on register. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm thinking to myself, I can't even feel my hand. And they keep putting me on this freaking register. And then I go to the manager. I have been to every manager in my place, and they keep saying, "Oh yeah, we'll switch y'all around. We'll switch y'all around." And every day I'm even if they move my name off of register, this is what happens. This happened the other day. I was not even on register. I'm supposed to be just bussing tables or whatever. And conveniently, the person that is on the register, so what they do, they play games. They constantly run to the back, run to the back. They'll act like they're doing something else. So they'll peep when we can't leave the guest just sitting there. So they'll peep when someone's coming and they'll run. And I've even told the managers that they do this. Like if they would just watch them, they would see that they do this. They run off and they leave. And I've actually told these same team members, hey, I can't do the register all the time. I actually tell them what's wrong with me, and they still, it does not matter. When someone approaches, they run, they disperse, and then boom, it's only me up front, so I have to take that guess. But as I take that guess, a line conveniently always formulates behind that person, and then I'm stuck there. And I'm like, where's the person for the register? And it's like it's getting overwhelming. I cry to myself all the time because honestly, I don't know how I can keep working this way. I can't. I mean, my hands are gone. My nerves are shot. I have arthritis. Then I'm thinking I'm also an artist. So when you take all of my good ability constantly ringing up sandwiches, do you think I can come home and work on my graphic design projects? I can't tell my hands, no, we're off of work now. Now you can freely let the blood flow. No, I only have so much ability in my hands. And I don't know, it's irritating, it's overwhelming. It feels like they don't care. And then I have to bring up that, hey, now what I'm gonna have to do is go get doctor notes. And what doctor notes end up doing is limiting me, because now I cannot do this, and this. Where if you would have just not overused me just to do a spot that, because they don't want to be on the register so that they're not dealing with guests and then they can go talk with their friends. That's why they don't want to be on the register. I don't want to be on the register because it hurts. God, it hurts. It's irritating. Don't you want your hands? Do you want your hands always numb? And also, I was told I have a reverse curvature in my neck. I have 3 herniated discs just in my neck from a slip and fall at that super center. And the chiropractor, I've been under chiropractic care for over 3 years, 3 to 4 years. It's been a long time. It's hurting my pockets. I recently had to stop going because I cannot afford it. So, because I'm not going to chiropractic care, I'm feeling more pain and less blood flow. So, go get a doctor's note. It's gonna limit what I can do. You know what I'm saying? So instead of them just, rather than always relying on me to use me so that you can have chats with your friends and so that you don't have to deal with aggravating guests, if you would allow us to take turns, I would never have to call attention to, hey, I am disabled and I cannot do this all the time. And when I was in graphic design school, we had this, we would have to do mock designs for different companies, and I did one that I can't remember what it's called, but it was like this disability like advocate in Florida, right? And I was so happy when I got that project, and I made this one slogan that disability does not mean no ability. I have abilities, but when you continue to use me in the ability that hurts rather than use me where I can actually excel, it always looks like I'm the weak link. And then I have to transfer, or I have to leave the job, or I have to, and it gets very frustrating. Like even when I was in the laundry room, people, the managers would know my disabilities, but you as my coworker, you don't really, I don't have to tell you. I'm courteous to tell you what's wrong, but they talk behind your back. If you take a day off for FMLA, oh, she ain't never here at work. And I'm like, do you know I don't be at home on the beach? I be home laid on my back, barely able to move. Or when in the laundry room, I used to hang garments, and this hurts constantly. This have your whole back feeling like someone split you in half like a baked potato, girl, without the chives and all that stuff, girl. But they would get mad because I would hang 2 garments at a time because it would decrease the many times I would have to do this. So they, why she hanging them 2 by 2? It's getting the belt stuck. And I promise you, every time I would hang them 2 by 2, I would watch. And every time that belt got stuck, I would make sure it wasn't something that I hung. So you're not dealing with a dummy. I have a disability. That does not mean I don't have no ability. And it's very challenging when you work disabled, and then you have to still deal with all the politics, work politics. Like, it's very difficult, and you have to do it to keep that roof over your head, or barely keep the roof over your head, because right now I ain't got the roof over my head. I'm living, from this person to that person. But, and every dime that I make, it hurts. I be in utter pain making the little bit of money that I make. So, all right. I guess that turned into a rant, but I love that he said that. Please be mindful that not all disabilities are visual.